did you kind of feel when you decided to go off and study more about your faith versus a lot of people in society that are much more secular, and you're growing up in a society where there's a bit of a prejudice against, or that you just feel slightly uncomfortable when you have religion at home, and it's like, oh, cute. I always felt there was this like element of patronising, or in my own childhood, there was like, oh, cute, you're religious. There was always that. How did you overcome that, or what was how did you feel?
That's a great question, because I did get some like satirical comments from friends and family that did happen. I remember, I wasn't wearing a kippah, right, which is a Jewish law. It's a skull cap that's meant to signify like reverence for God. And I never used to wear them, and I put one on when I was aged 18. And I remember a friend saying, "Oh, I'm sure that'll be off within a week. I think it's just a phase," and all these things. Well, here I am 10 years later. I remember when I decided to spend a year in Israel, a lot of friends and family were very concerned that I was going to get brainwashed and become super extreme. By the way, not entirely illegitimate concern, because that can happen with people. People can go extreme with any ideology and anything, so not illegitimate. But I remember in my sister's bat mitzvah, everyone know what a bat mitzvah is? It's like sort of coming of age for a girl. That was a few weeks into my time in yeshiva, which was the place I studied in Israel. Yeshiva is like a college of Jewish studies. When I came back to London and I made a speech, I said, now I know a lot of people in this room are very worried that I'm going to get all brainwashed and I'm going to come back from Israel a rabbi. And I said, I have to tell you, you don't have to worry. I'm not coming back. And then my mum was like, oh, yes, you are. And then I said, anyway, if I had a £1 coin for every time someone told me how worried they were that I was going to get all extreme, then I'd buy myself a really nice black hat. Look, I did face some of that. I think there's been an infantilizing of the way we treat religion. And one of the things that was said when I launched JTV, we actually had, we did it in Parliament, the launch, and we had the religious affairs correspondent from the BBC. And he was saying that, and he was Muslim himself, and he was saying that one of the biggest problems he finds today is there's a religious illiteracy that exists, where we see it as very babyish, and many religious communities will kind of teach all the theological themes and stories to their kids, but once they reach a certain age, they kind of think it's time to grow out of that, and it becomes less relevant. It's seen as very childish. It's like nice, cute stories. But what's happened is we have this illiteracy now, where people don't actually realise that these nice, cute stories actually have exceptionally deep and powerful lessons within their narratives, which if you just go beneath the surface, you find. And so for me, the frowning or the eye-rolling comes from a place of just lack of real appreciation and misconceptions around the religion. And also, I think there are certain things in religion that puts people off. I think religion can be sometimes portrayed, and I'm speaking generally, I'm not saying necessarily just about Judaism, but as something that's very threatening, that like you have to do this or you're going to burn in hell. It's very much, and that's just a total turn-off, and that's just, it's abusive, it's inappropriate, and it's very ungodly actually, and very certainly un-Jewish. But I think that does turn people off. People have this idea of religion as God placed you here and he says do all these things else you're going to burn in hell. But he really loves you. It's like, what? Like, that's who's going to be, inspired by that? And also, we do live in a Western world that basically says if something isn't seen to the naked eye, then it's not there. But of course, through some very simple logical deductions, I think you can have a different perspective, which I do. So for me, it's all just about education. We've been a bit miseducated or not exposed to certain things. And I felt privileged to be more exposed to certain things that helped shifted my perspective. And so that's really the part of the response that you've referred to and that I felt is what motivates me to do all the things I do. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.